Hi guys. It's not something that I normally do, but I'm trying to get into the habit of speaking aloud about what's going on inside and some of the things that God presents to me every day in the spirit through experiences, through occurrences, um, you know, those kinds of things that just come together, like maybe for his, well, for his, yes, indeed, for his greater good. I'm just trying to figure out what it may be for now. So, when starting this life coach business, my goal was to find the best ways to express some of the things that go under the radar, things that we don't really talk about outside the box that affect our lives, and you know things that we're ashamed to talk about, or there's things that people have been speaking about often, types of maybe even dysfunctions, I would say, that people talk about that are new and occurring, like maybe imposter syndrome, and people that don't realize that they may be in a field where they're not being truly um, effective because they're maybe not being so genuine to themselves and to the things that they still need to work on, And I'm including myself in this whole entire category because, those that are close to me know that I try my best to be as candid and genuine as possible, within my boundaries and my own parameters. It's funny how my goddaughter, who I will be mentioning often, uh, wrote something or a meme on Facebook that said, like, the more clear you become with people, the more direct, the more aggressive and rude they think you are, especially if you're a woman. So that plays a whole nother, that's a whole nother phenomenon there. Like, boss bitch versus, you know, men being bosses versus women being bitches. Excuse my language, but that's the best way I know how to put it right now. So getting back to how some of these terms and ideas that we think about ourselves, and how sometimes we think that we're not being putting our best foot forward or being genuine and in our lives or in our careers, it stems back to a personal belief system and the lies and the deceit and the things that the enemy has put in our hearts and our souls, a belief system making us believe that we're more or sometimes even less. Everybody runs the gamut of in that spectrum. Sometimes we think too much of ourselves, highly, our ego, and we forget where we come from, I guess. And some people, think very lowly of themselves, as if they don't deserve to be loved, and those kinds of things that affect our self-esteem. So we got to make sure we have balance in it. It's interesting how you know there are people that are in the public eye that I happen to come across in my exciting life adventure, right? That maybe people that people look up to. You can be a celebrity and being infamous. You can be, nowadays, obviously, with the reality shows and the social media personalities, and like in my days as socialites and things like that, you can be famous for being nobody, right? But then there's those people that always have some type of publicity, some type of calling. It could be something negative or positive. In the media, things have been turned around in such a way that I won't even get into right now. However, we have to know our influence, and we know that people that are on the same frequency as you, or above you, or in different levels than you, or below you, they can sense where you are. And when you say that you're doing something and you're not living it, it coincides, and the universe has a way of allowing you to implode, and sometimes, for lack of better terms, let the trash take itself out, internal trash, like, if you're a person that's a I came across a person from the past, I guess, that was really a person that people might have thought has changed their lives, right? And again, everybody's on a journey. Everybody's journey is not to be able to be depicted by anybody. It should never be picked apart or criticized, or everyone reaches their goal if indeed they are blessed to get to that point at a different stage, at a different point. Timing is up to God. His timing is perfect. Therefore, those of us who are in the beginning, the middle, the end, wherever we are in our personal journey, we have no right or business to look down upon those who may not be at the same point as you. So when you make a clear statement as a person that's in the public eye or has been, please make sure that when your reality is being told to you or spoken to you in a certain way, that you are able to, you pray to be able to accept it, embrace it, internalize it, take what you can, leave the rest, throw it out, put it in the pocket for later, whatever you may do. My desire for you is to look at it from a different perspective, look at life from a different perspective than what you're normally living, because people can tell that you still may have more work to do than you proclaim. And me as a living example, number one, first and foremost, I'm a daughter of God, a daughter of the Most High, and I'm a human, right? So I can only teach from a perspective of my human experience and how it's evolved and grown spiritually, professionally, personally, academically, emotionally, personally, physically, in so many different ways throughout my 47 years on this earth. Yes, I did just turn 47. I'm a Virgo for those of you that want to know. So basically, I understand that I still have a ways to go, and I learn every day. I'm a work in progress, and every day I make an effort to learn something different and new. I make an effort to learn something different and new about myself, first and foremost, because the more I learn and the more I grow is the more I love myself, the more I yearn for the desires that God has placed in my heart to fulfill. The passion that I have to see other people living their passion, to see other people reaching their goals, to live my passion, to enjoy, to see how to just live eternally by the things that we do and things that we leave on this earth. So going back to the original point of this whole spiel, because I tend to rant on, so I'm not going to do many of these until I get a little more fine tuned. So you guys maybe will eventually help me. I've got a lot of things and ideas in mind as to how this is going to unfold, and I look forward to the process if, in fact, this is where it's going. Um, yeah, getting back to the fact that we must all show up for in our lives. We must all present ourselves, show up eventually, start getting to know ourselves, falling in love with our souls, falling in love with our lives, being real, which means it's okay to be imperfect. Falling in love with yourself means that you fall in love with the imperfect parts of you too. And if you're not in, you are enough. You are enough at this point right now where you are at this point. You'll never be any younger than you are today, or and you'll be blessed to get older. So at the end of the day, all you have is now, the present, right? So it may sound morbid, but we're born to die. We the moment we leave our mom's womb, our mother's womb, we begin the process of deteriorating. But in the meantime, we have to live as much as possible. Therefore, show up and show out. And since most people, including me, have some at one point in their life been concerned about what other people view them and think, all you got to realize is that everyone is going to think differently. Therefore, you cannot be different people. You can only be you. So you show up the way you are, and those people choose to love you, like you, hate you, want you, need you, desire you, not all of that in one. Whether they choose to or not, that is their problem and not yours. So you show up broken, you show up whole, you show up unsure, you show up promising, you show up deserving enough for the time as now, for such a time as now. Therefore, don't be afraid to say, you know what, I don't, I may be wrong. I got this all wrong. Like this, and maybe you don't think that way. Maybe you still think you have it right, and life will show you that it's been merciful. God has been merciful towards you, and you have no other choice but to be grateful. Okay, and bask in His grace, His daily graces that He gives us, that He extends to us, that gift That precious gift every day that says this is a brand new day, and we don't deserve it. I think I saw a saying that says, "Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve, and grace is when you get what you don't deserve." So, in fact, when he's being merciful towards you, you probably deserved for him for life to take you out. You probably did deserve that, but he showed mercy towards you. Therefore, we shall show mercy unto others. Um, Grace is extended to you, and you don't deserve that either. So at the end of the day, the grace is a free gift, and embrace it. Forgiveness towards yourself, forgiveness towards others is hard, but sometimes forgiveness towards ourselves is maybe even harder when we forgive everybody and their mom, right? So I'm gonna leave you with that, guys. It's very interesting how some of these perspectives came to me in such a I'm even at a loss for words. Somebody that talks as much as me, um, in such a marvelous way. I'm blessed to have had the experience of being shown how ill people can actually be, and not realizing who they are, and hating themselves that way, and hating themselves, and hate, spewing hate, when it's really recognized by a stranger like me that all you're showing is the hate that you have towards yourself. So guys, get with it. When let's when everything's going wrong in your life, stop pointing the finger. You're the common denominator. You're the common denominator. Okay. So talk to you later, guys. Thanks for watching or not watching. This is Dear Delilah, your real life coach. You know, who do you think you are? Figure it out. Okay. Take care.